I don't think people actually understand the level of adherence it requires to be successful in a cut or a fat loss phase. Like, they genuinely don't get it. Here's a scenario. They think they're doing everything right. They think they're being disciplined. They think they're tracking everything on point. And then they wonder why the scale isn't moving. Here's what's actually happening. All those extra bites when you're cooking, the licks of the spoons when you're making something for the kids, the little tastes of just checking if the food needs more seasoning. See all of that? You ain't tracking any of that, are you? But your body is. The untracked meals, that one cheat meal that turned into an entire day, the lunch you grabbed with a colleague where you eyeballed the portions, the breakfast you didn't log because it was just eggs and toast. Your body doesn't care if you logged it or not. The calories still count. Going out to eat, you order something healthy and assume it's fine. But you don't know what's happening in the kitchen. Maybe the restaurant's using butter, oil, dressings, sauces, loads of them. That grilled chicken salad you thought was 400 calories, well, maybe it's actually 800 calories. And then you're wondering why you're not losing weight. So you're eyeballing food portions. You think that teaspoon of peanut butter is just 100 calories. You think you're using about 50 calories worth of oil, but it's actually 250. Every single one of those eyeballed portions is probably bigger than you think. And when you're trying to be in a deficit, those little miscalculations add up fucking fast. Here's a big one. All those special events you have throughout the week. You know, Monday, Make's birthday drinks. Wednesday, work lunch. Friday, date night. Saturday, our family barbecue at the in-laws. Sunday, roast dinner at your mum's. And every single one of them, you tell yourself, it's fine, it's just one meal. Except it's not one meal, it's 5. 5 meals where you're not tracking. 5 meals where you're probably eating way more than you think. And those 5 meals, they're wiping out your entire week's deficit. So mentally, you are in a deficit. You genuinely believe you're doing everything right. You're eating healthy. You're training so hard. You're being disciplined. But physically, you're not in a deficit at all, because all those little extras, the bites, the taste, the untracked meals, the eyeballed portions, the special events, they've taken you out of the deficit without you even realizing it. This is how you drive yourself fucking nuts. You're convinced you're doing everything right. You're eating chicken and vegetables. You're going hard at the gym. You're trying so hard, but the scale isn't fucking moving. So you start spiraling. Maybe my metabolism is broken. Maybe I need to eat even less. Maybe I'm just not meant to lose weight. Why the fuck should I even bother? And all the time, it's just because you're not actually in a calorie deficit. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Fat loss requires a level of precision most people aren't willing to commit to. Not for a day, not for a week, for weeks, months, however long it takes. And that precision means weighing things. Not eyeballing, weighing, tracking things, even the little things. Being honest about your weekends and your special events. Accepting that going out to eat makes it harder, not easier. Understanding that one untracked meal can undo 3 days of being in a deficit. Most people aren't willing to do that. And that's fine. But then don't be confused when the weight doesn't come off. I say this a lot to clients, because the diet is always the biggest thing. You can't half-ass a cut and expect results. You can't track Monday to Friday and then eat whatever you want the weekend. You can't weigh your breakfast but eyeball your dinner. You can't be disciplined most of the time and expect it to work. Fat loss doesn't reward effort, it rewards adherence. And if your adherence is shit, so would your results. So what do you actually need to do? Weigh your food. All of it. Not some of it, all of it. If that's what you're subscribed to, weigh every single bit of your food. You don't have to weigh your food. You can subscribe to a diet such as intermittent fasting, keto, carnivore, something like that. Because at the end of the day, those diets, they just help you to get into a calorie deficit. But whatever you're doing, track honestly. Don't skip meals because you can't be bothered. Don't leave out the bites, the licks, and the tastes. Don't conveniently forget about the wine you had last night. If it goes in your mouth, it goes in the tracker. Stop having so many fucking special events. This is probably the reason why you got into this trouble in the first place. If every week has 3 social occasions where you're eating out or drinking out or not tracking, that's not a cut, it's maintenance. You can't have a proper deficit if you're constantly going off plan. Either commit to the cut or don't, but stop pretending you can do both. Accept that restaurants are a nightmare for tracking. If you absolutely have to eat out, choose the simplest option possible. Grilled meat, steamed vegetables, no sauce, no dressing. And even then, assume it's higher in calories than you think and be consistent for longer than a week. You can't be strict for 4 days, go off the rails on the weekend and expect progress. Fat loss takes time, weeks of consistent adherence. Not perfect, consistent. The level of adherence required is higher than you think. It's not just healthy eating. It's being precise, honest, constant. It's saying no to the extra bite, tracking the taste, weighing the portion. It's accepting that your weekends need to look a lot like your weekdays. It's uncomfortable. It's restrictive. It's not fucking fun, but it works. And yo, if you're not willing to do that, that's fine. Seriously, there's no judgment here. But then stop wondering why you're not losing weight at a certain rate. Stop blaming your metabolism. Stop saying, I'm doing everything right. Be honest with yourself, because you're not. And that's okay. Just be honest with yourself. You don't have to be doing all these things to be extreme, as long as you're honest. People want results in 3 months, but they're not willing to do what's required to get the results in 3 months. Right? But at the same time, I'm not here to say this is the only way to lose weight. I have clients who still eat very flexibly, right? They're still able to enjoy certain meals and certain, sweet treats and all this kind of stuff. But there are also the people that understand that by doing that, they're going to have a longer process, and they're okay with that because that is sustainable for them. Because the mental torture comes from the gap between what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing. A lot of people think they're in a deficit. They're not. They think they're being disciplined. They're not. They think that they are doing things accurately. They're not. And that disconnect is what's driving a lot of people mad when they step on the scale week by week and it's not showing them a result. So close the gap. Either commit fully or don't. It's okay. You can accept you're not ready to be this strict right now. Or, as I said before, allow yourself more flexibility, but allow yourself more time for your results. But don't live in the middle. The middle is where you do all the hard work without getting the fucking results. And that's the worst place to fucking be. That's where people end up just fucking being in the cycle, driving themselves mad, and then saying, fuck this, I'm done. Now, either tighten up your mindset and your approach, or just stop pretending. I hope this makes sense. Now, go get it done.